Hi there, welcome to another presentation of the Globe Sound Healing Conference. Now we have Jamie Lou. Hi, Jamie Lou.
Hello, David.
Welcome, welcome. Jamie Lou is a gifted sound healer, light language practitioner, and a telepath slash empath, intuitive. Going through her own awakening, she is respected for her depth of compassion and divine wisdom to assist others through their ascension process. She is world renowned for working with difficult illnesses and core wounds after healing herself from her heart failure and Hashimoto's disease at age 24. So, what have you been up to lately?
Always the big questions with you.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Mm. A lot of living life, and a lot of service to others. So this is a really important time we're in, and I'm hoping that we can spend some time talking about the important changes that are happening in the world, and how sound plays a really crucial part in all of that, and how we can raise our frequency, and find more freedom in our lives.
You're in Sedona now?
I am.
Yeah. Are you feeling the energies there?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that hard to stay grounded?
Oh no, no. It for me. Staying grounded is the mission, if you will. You know that's the priority. So what's wonderful about Sedona is the connection to the natural world, to the land, to the red rocks, and to the indigenous spirit. You know that lives on here in the Hopi, in the wisdom of the trees, and the spirits of the elements. It's the song. Okay, the song of the mother is very much alive here, and yeah, I've been having to rest a lot, as I had mentioned, just to integrate and work with these energies one on one.
Cool. So, you did a little concert for us,
Hmm.
a little sound meditation. So, tell us about it.
Well, this is a
Let
little
me get it
gift.
ready.
Okay, cool. It's 10 minutes, and usually when I do a sound healing offering. It's very ceremonial. It can go on for like an hour to longer. This is just a little 10-minute offering for the conference. It is medicine. Okay, so just a word of caution, a word of advice for those who are listening. Please, listen with intent and listen from your hearts. Please do not be driving in your car while you are listening to this recording. Okay, this is not a performance. This is not, it's not like you're listening to a song on a radio. This is very much, it's musical medicine. It's frequency, and it does alter our consciousness. So, if you're wanting to go deep, and you're okay with, going into multidimensional states right now, then put on a pair of headphones. That's what I recommend, and give yourself this 10 minutes to experience a clearing.
Great. Go ahead and mute and we'll play it now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. peace and stillness, the whole deal, and light. So I hope you can talk after that.
We will do our best. That's all we can do.
So, what might be your presentation today?
Well, I leave this in the hands of the divine. Oh, it's I can feel very much into this beautiful event that you're putting together, David. That the intention, the message that wants to come through has everything to do about this great awakening that the world is experiencing, that humanity is experiencing, and maybe going into some of the things that I've learned and what I've learned through being with my clients and assisting my clients. Over 300 healing sessions now, and some of the cool things that I've learned along the way, about healing and how sound plays a very big role in that. And I know it's huge for our future. So lots of good things to talk about.
Cool. Okay. Well, let us begin. Let me do full screen. Cool. So what have you learned?
There's so much to continue learning. That's for sure. I've learned that in the space of true humility, to surrendering to the unknown and to what there still is to learn, that we come into contact with the solutions that we're looking for, right? As people who are on the path of healing and self-realization, self-discovery. And it really takes a great deal of humility, of surrenderance to tap into that field, where the answers just flow. They come to you. You recognize, right? You realize a whole new perspective on things. And that's the vibration I'm very much residing in these days. I find myself residing in due to the awakening that I've been going through, and also to holding space, for holding space for others who are going through this awakening, because it's a spontaneous thing that's happening. It's something that we can't control. It very much requires us to learn how to surrender, to the process, and allow healing to happen versus fighting it, resisting it, which is how we create our suffering. That is really the mechanism, if you will, this resistance that creates all of our suffering. But if we can learn to be still and to allow, then we do receive our medicine. We receive exactly what it is we need, right? To come into a frequential alignment to what it is we so deeply desire within our hearts.
There's a lot of people in fear right now and anxiety. What how would you describe the awakening that's happening?
Many people have different beliefs and perspectives about the awakening, right? I've heard been called the ascension, the great awakening. Many people believe it has to do with, just seeing what's really going on in the government. Many people believe that it's deeper than that. It's really about waking up to a higher consciousness and to realizing what God is within ourselves. And for me, the wake up is a process that happens spontaneously. It's something, again, like I said, you cannot control and you cannot fight. It will happen. It will happen in the right time for each individual, and each individual will have a unique experience with their own awakening. And for me, the ascension, the awakening, all that that is really our return to source. It's our liberation. It's a process, a journey that requires us to let go and unlearn pretty much everything that we've been taught. That's what I've learned, right? Everything that we've been told and that we've been taught and conditioned with since day one, since we arrived, you know, into this world, and beyond that, before we arrived to this world, when we were here in other worlds and in other times on this planet. So there's incarnational experiences too, you know, and this great journey of awakening has everything to do with healing ourselves. And because it's only through the healing process do we actually learn to know thyself, right? To be clear, exceptionally clear of who we are at the soul level, you see. And as I see a lot of people, they're looking for that right now. Since 2020 arrived, I know it's been very chaotic and kind of a dramatic year, you know, big events, right? Lots of things happening. Yeah, lots of chaos, lots of fear arising in people, and this is the signal that there is healing to be done, right? That healing is very much needed in the world, because if people are that afraid, you know, of change, and are that insecure, you know, when things start to fall apart, when the house of cards that we've built up starts to fall apart, and the economy starts to fall apart, and the government is at odds with each other, and there's great division in our world and in our humanity, and no one can seem to agree on anything, that is not a bad thing. To me, as a healer, that is a signal. That's a message, a direct message to humanity to get on board with our healing process. It's really to put our spiritual growth first, right? That to me is what awakening is all about. That's what it has taught me on a very personal level, because I'm someone who has gone through this since 2012, and now I continue to go through it. Right, it's a never-ending process, and but now I get to share this with other people. You know, other people come to me seeking sanctuary in the wisdom, in the tips, if you will. I like to call them tips, because when you're someone who's gone through something like really difficult, right, like a disease, to overcome. That's what I went through. I overcame a disease, and I also overcame a lot of emotional turmoil and deep, dark depression. I went through the underworld of my own psyche in order to heal myself, heal my heart, and come to realize who I really am as a person here in this incarnation, and what my purpose is in life. And to get that far, you know, where you can find your footing, you could find your ground in yourself, and you know why you're here. You know, you learn a lot of things, you realize a lot of things. And when we have that's a gift. That's a gift that's given, right, from God. And life can only show you that, right, by living it, learning how to let go, and learning how to overcome, right, learning how to truly heal and transcend a lot of these loops, these mental loops of suffering that we can find ourselves in. And so that's why people come. They seek the assistance, they seek the energetic support, they seek the wisdom, because it's only in the wisdom we'll find liberation, right? Yeah, truth sets us free.
What do you think the main thing that people that are a little stressed out these days can do to help precipitate this awakening?
Absolutely. There's so many things that one can do, and that's what I love about living in this time right now, is that there are many opportunities. One just has to, you know, let go of the pride, let go of whatever barrier there is to receiving support and asking for help, because we have opportunities. Okay. For me, the greatest gift of liberation, the greatest thing that has helped me has been mentors. Sitting with mentors, sitting with physical people who have gone through, who have experienced what I was experiencing, and have gone to the other side, if you will, and gone through it. And they're willing to share from their heart, how it was for them, and the things that they've learned, and just listening to a lot of those keys, or those master keys, and utilizing them. It elevated me so much. It really prevented prevented a lot of tragedy in my life, while I was going through a lot of my ascension.
What was the master keys for you in your transformation that we could learn from?
Oh, there's so many, and I'm just mentioning just one avenue that people could get into, like sitting with a mentor, finding a mentor. And I also I want to also honor and respect the mentors that are not in the body too. Your non-physical mentors, the ascended ones who work with us if we are open. And this is where sound healing, the modality of sound and working with our frequency, is incredibly powerful at liberating and opening our channels to the divine, right? And to higher consciousness, and receiving in those master keys, because a lot of it is we can't even hear it. They're inaudible frequencies that we get, right? That we get in downloads and in insights. And that has certainly been my experience in communicating with the ascended ones, and learning how to get in touch with the ascended one in me. It's an ever practice of learning how to listen, right? Becoming very, very still and listening to the space that's in between the sounds. Right? And the space that's in between matter, it's the same. There's great wisdom when we can find the space in between everything. And yeah, so to answer your question, it's really to learn, to learn how to listen, to learn how to be still. And these are gifts that are given to us when we meditate, when we do practice sound healing, when we go to a sound healing group and we receive, when we seek support from a mentor or a healer who knows what they're doing. Got to make sure we say that, right? There's a lot out there. But yeah, if one is truly willing to be guided from their heart, and listen to their heart's guidance, they will find exactly the help that they need, and the frequency that they need. I think as a sound healer, I've learned that everything is a frequency, right? Everything has a song. And when we start to go through our awakening process, or what we're really doing from a sound healer's perspective, is we're learning how to let go of the dissidence, right? That the sounds that are not supporting our ability to thrive, our ability to love one another, our ability to love and care for oneself, our ability to really unite and connect as one being, as one humanity. That's really what this world is seeking, and you could see it in the chaos. You could see it in the contrast. That again, stillness shows you that source, connecting to the infinite within, shows you, gives you the eyes to see that everything is perfect in the world, and all the chaos and all the fear and all the division that's tearing families apart right now, and people apart, and worlds apart. It's all perfect. because this is catalyzing tremendous growth within the spirit of each and every one who are experiencing that kind of suffering, right? And I always say that there is purpose to suffering. There is great purpose to suffering. Like, we don't just suffer for nothing, right? Like, it's right? I mean, the ego might think that, absolutely. The ego is highly trained to believe that, oh, we somehow deserve this suffering, or we suffer because of me, right? Because I did something. It's all because of me. And that's the individual ego-based perspective. That's exactly what we're here to liberate. Okay? That is the wake-up. And as we go through the ego's clamoring and noise and chatter, we learn that it's in dissonance. It's not in harmony with the song that sings in the heart, you know. And oh my gosh, this reminds me of something. You talk about master keys. You know, this is something that I got directly from God when I was in meditation, and I had a question for God, and it was about the world, and it was in great concern for the world. And I asked God, I said, what is it going to take? What is it going to take for the world to heal? For humanity to actually ascend to a place where they could come to peace, right? They could come to peace with each other, and we can live together in that peace. Surely I'm not the only one who's wanting that, right? Surely there's got to be other ones here on earth. I know I'm not alone in this. So how, God, how does this happen? And God showed me. Well, first God said, good question. God wants more questions like that, by the way. But God said, this will only happen when humanity awakens the heart. And I was shown the image of this beautiful portal, okay, like a vortex of energy spiraling in the middle of a person's heart. And this person is every person, okay? It's the same for everyone. And this is the place where we are all the same. We're all connected right here in the portal in the heart. But the problem is that not everyone is open in that place, right? That portal in the heart is shut. And this is what's giving rise, okay? Just from a very deep shamanic, energetic perspective here, this is really where I'm speaking from. This is giving rise to the chaos and the division that we see in the world today, right? And this is why from up here, from the ego perspective, this me, you know, I have to do something about it. You know, what's my job in this? What can we do from up here to attend to the chaos and the division in the world? This is where most people operate from. But what God is asking us to do, and it's through this wake-up process, the spiritual awakening, the spiritual growth, God is asking us to not operate from up here anymore. Like, we've done enough of that. We've mastered that. We've mastered creating worlds from our minds. And it's shown us what we can do. It's fantastic, absolutely. But it's also very limiting. But God wants us to evolve and come into the secret passageway in our heart. And then I say it like this because I say secret because it involves the mystery, you see. To come from the usual operation up here in the mind that creates its own sound, it creates its own, you know, I call it dissidence. It creates its own sound patterns, okay? It's not creating from the complete picture, okay? It's just one. It's one song, it's one instrument. But there's more. There's more to the human being. There's more to the human body than just this one instrument, you see. The grand symphony is awaiting us, and it's here in the heart. And God said once that portal is activated within the person's heart, will we know peace on earth. So it's going to take every single one of us to wake up, in our own time, in our own pace. This is exactly what's happening now in the world. And when that heart is finally free and liberated, then we will know who we are. We will know ourselves as the unlimited creators we're here to be. We're here to realize, and we're here to express from. You see?
I just saw very clearly the rhythm, the tempo of the rhythm of the brain is like and can get really fast and be very cool very fast, right? But the heart is a much slower tempo. It feels like stillness because it's so slow, right? It's not going it's going
Yes. Yes. It feels gentle. It feels like it's listening because it is. So it makes space. It makes space for that listening, and indeed, it's a sound, the song of the soul, right? The song of the heart. The sound is so full because it's so empty. And it moves so fast because it's so still. You see? This is the realm of the mystery. This is really what we just opened up here, David. And I just see people really struggle with this. This can be so incredibly terrifying. What we're talking about, what we're even sharing, this frequency that we're trying to put words to, because you can't put words to it. You really can't. The truth, the absolute truth, there's no words to that because our mind can't comprehend it. Again, the mind is just one instrument. It's one tool. The whole symphony of heaven exists within us. And indeed, that's what it took. It took me seeking that, right? Like devoting myself to that, devoting myself to, I must find the absolute truth. I must get in touch with the song of my soul. I must get in touch with the all that I am, right? And it's through that journey of diving deep into my own heart and healing all the protection, right? Well, this is why it's hard to reach the heart, why it's hard to activate the portal, because we can have a lot of protection, armor, resistance to even touching this place within. So a lot of people don't even know what it feels like. They don't know the vibration of their own soul because it's blocked. It's severely blocked. It's caged. And this is what we're here to liberate, right? We're here to break free from these cages and dare to sing our song. And it's the best thing ever. I just want everyone to know. It's my testimony here. I mean, I wouldn't change anything in my life because of what I found. And I've gone through a lot. I've gone through a lot of suffering, learned a lot of soul level lessons, had to let go of so much sacrifice, right? So much sacrifice to connect, to deeply connect with my own soul and to bring through its message and its vibration in the midst of a world that is completely disconnected from its soul.
Can you hear the song of your soul now?
Oh, that is such a good question. And again,
God likes big questions.
oh, indeed. Oh, yeah, I get goosebumps when you ask that. I feel like there's a lot to the song the song of the soul. And can I hear it? I can't hear it. I feel it. You know what I mean? I don't hear things like clairaudience do. Okay, there's like the four clairs, clairvoyance, which I think most people know about. So when you see, right, you see the energy, you see the frequencies. Clairaudience is when you're actually hearing it, but that's not one of my primary channels of intuiting the more. Okay, and receiving information from multiple dimensions. I'm telepathic and I'm empathic, so I feel it. I feel the song, and the telepathy allows me to transmit the song through the brainwaves. I'm not sure how that works, but that's that's what's happening in my sessions and in my offerings. We're constantly transmitting, as instruments. That's what I see us. A true sound healer is an instrument for the divine, and all we're doing is we're surrendering to that divine song that's within, transmitting it, we're sharing it through the airwaves. And a lot of those frequencies, like I said, are inaudible. They can only be experienced through feeling, right? You feel it. You feel it in your heart, not up here, right? And that's the really cool thing about sound. It's because it gives us an avenue to experience spirit, right? And to experience the absolute truth without the mind getting in the way. And that's what I love about working with sound. Because it has this way of bypassing the brain. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. It works with the brain, right? But it bypasses the ego mechanism that creates all the resistance to it. Yeah. So, and this is what we need now, especially with so many people now waking up in mass. I'm seeing people who are, who are coming to me with experiences where they're shocked, they're literally shocked into a whole nother world, right? The mystery, the mystical world. And Jesus is in their living room, giving them a download. And they're like, what is going on, right? Who do I talk to? Right? And you can't talk to anyone about this. And this is really what's going on right now. Because there's so much fear that is being shaken out of the collective, that it's giving rise to the spirit within. And those who are ready to awaken, whether they're conscious of it or not, they find themselves in an experience like this where it's like, oh, I am spirit in a human body. Okay, I am spiritual, right? The whole world is spiritual. There's way more to things than what meets the eye. So I'm getting phone calls like this a lot, and it's showing me that people are waking up very rapidly. They're having new experiences that they can't explain. And I really applaud that, because that means there's no time for the ego to grasp onto it and to make it something, right? And then people right away, they ask me, they go, okay, what books can I read? What movies can I watch? What information can I digest?
Right. It's like, where the other question is like, how can I just access it every time?
Right.
I mean, it's like, bing.
Right.
How do we do bing?
Right. How do we do Bing?
Right.
What do we do? Ayahuasca. What is it? Mushrooms. What psychedelic should I use? And I go, stop. Stop right there. Stop. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Let it be.
Exactly. It's all within. And we are here to become our own masters. You see, we're here to master this monkey mind that is demanding that we do something about it.
Right.
You see, it's demanding. Right. Exactly. That song and dance.
Yeah.
And it's really a loop if you can feel into it. Right? That's right. So when we become masters of our own reality, then we see that the answers are all within here. And we bring it back to what God had said. Seek within thy heart, open the heart, make that our mission, make that our focus right now, right? Put our spiritual growth first and do what it takes to unravel the barriers in between us, meaning consciousness, and our soul. It really is time to get into the soul. And if there's one thing that I could recommend for people, you know, don't seek the information. Don't fill your head with the information. Sit, sit in silence and sit in sound. These two things are profound, and we don't need anything else. But these things are active bridgers that tap us into the frequency of our own soul, you see. That's why it's so
So, might you be able to find my soul song now?
right
My,
now.
yeah, yeah. Or drop in and do it. I mean, it could be fun. I mean, I don't, whatever you think, though.
Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But that does sound like fun.
Oh, it's a,
Well, sure, David. I mean, if I'm just getting, I'm feeling the response to your
okay.
question, and I feel it through my body, and I'm just getting these waves of laughter and
Mm-hmm.
giggles, and that's a good that's a good indication, because that means your inner child is asking, right? And I can't turn away someone's inner child.
Let's play. Let's
Yeah, let's
play.
play. That's right. Let's play. So yeah, we can I could totally tune in, and let's just see what happens. No
Okay.
expectations,
Cool.
right?
Cool.
Okay. So I will say that, wow, I could feel it, David. Now I will say to everyone that the reason why we can do this with David is because he's already open in that portal. His heart is wide open, and he's done a lot of work. He is an amazing teacher. So of course, he has to do his work. And I could feel his heart right now and the waves that are coming through. And there is when I start the song, it's really David's soul that will be singing, and it will be his language. Okay, if there is a language that comes through, a language of light, it will be his language, or the language of his ancestors that are wanting to reach out and connect to him. Okay, are you ready, David? So I invite you into your heartbeat. Hearing only your heartbeat. So I call upon the I Am Presence, and the higher self, and the sacred soul monad of David Gibson, and the song of his soul. Show me. Okay, now I see your ancestors and this beautiful group of wise women. And they're circling you and they're stomping their feet on the ground like this, creating a rhythm. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm seeing a very strong Atlantean energy moving in now. It's a beautiful royal blue energy, frequency. And it's coming to speak and to share its message of wisdom with David. Okay, this is an aspect of David. Okay, so David, just listen from your soul as we bring this in. Iyananaya, Duranaya, Miharia, Oshi, Oshini, Obushi, Ihananama, Ihamanama, Ohani, Mihama, Hoyaki, and Miham, Hoya Mahala, Namaya, Mohishin Maya, Noyane, and Mahotarama, Hunigri Mahia Karasamaraya. I'm bowing to you. I see Hathors now. Hathors are very present. Wow, this is cool. I'm seeing Egyptian, very strong Egyptian pyramids in the background here, blue sky. We, 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 I am me. Yoshi me mayana. Yolana maya. Huni amana masika na mahaniana. Huni hini malehina molehina. Ala samona na maya mola kanaya. Hiyana. Halamanaya, halaya mani mohosakanamaya, halaya manahaya hayam, uni heleni hamalaya moshini hiyanaya, wala kadamaya, iya, 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 maya, oya, Oh, this is so beautiful, David. If you can feel the gratitude that you are being showered in right now, these are your ancestors, your spiritual lineage, the connection to your star people are all here to support you and praising you for the work that you have done there in Egypt, there in the time of Atlantis, that which has paved way for the work you are doing today, the work of the future, and bringing through. Wow, it's big energy. Bringing through what you're bringing through and the way that you're doing it. It's just praise to you, and the essence of your soul and what it has learned and what has gone through. Thank you.
Wow.
Whoa. I brought tears to my eyes.
Me too.
Beautiful. How are you feeling?
Oh, amazing. The only thing I thought is when you hear the sound of your soul and know that your core being is good, this is what everybody needs,
Mm.
right? This is the whole deal. The main blockage that is stopping people. I am not good enough. Poof. Right?
Thank you. Thank you, thank
I
you,
am
thank
a
you.
beautiful song.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, dear one.
Thank you for sharing that wisdom. I mean, the truth is simple.
Yes.
It doesn't make it not the truth, you see.
Yes. Right.
And
Right.
you're absolutely spot on for bringing through that, for being able to translate the wisdom into words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we are not sinners. We are not terrible. We are not to blame. There is no one to blame. It's time to forgive. It's time to go beyond the story of pain and really celebrate celebrate the song that's in the soul. And another way of saying that is the dream within the soul. We are more than deserving. It really is our birthright. Woo, 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 woo. That's right.
So what was your presentation about?
It was about this. It's about having fun. Oh, doesn't that feel good
Oh my
when
God.
right? Liberation feels amazing
Oh,
when you could just be yourself and express from your heart the true essence of your being.
it's so interesting because it's like expansive heart. It's like beyond heart. You start with the heart, and it's so expansive and just all, right? It's like because often I think of the heart as like, but this is like, which is like all frequencies is when you can't really make the sound
Yeah,
of it.
you can't.
It's
Exactly.
all at once. So here's the
Exactly.
sound of it.
Right. Right. Oh, I love that. I love that you just brought that up because what's being shown to me now is what we just did. The soul song, the actual soul song, is way more. It's
Uh huh.
way more than what I was able to even bring through my vocal cords. Right.
Hmm.
Like this is limited to what is really going on and what you're really receiving and coming into contact with. You know.
It's interesting. There's seems to be a frequency though of me within this expansiveness, and it's almost like it's just this little essence of one note, and I feel it, right? I can totally feel it, and that's the frequency that is entraining my body and my heart and my brain, right? When I'm at peace, and it feels so peaceful. It's interesting that there's that note in the midst of all.
Yes. 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 And I know David calls this the home note.
Right,
That's
right.
exactly what you're
Or
talking
soul
about. It's the
note.
home
Yeah,
note,
yeah.
right? The soul note.
Uh
And
huh.
and I see it as the very center. It's the unchanged, ever present, infinite point of view, right?
Uh huh.
Source point.
Right,
It will never change. It will never die.
right.
The thing that will continue to live on and live on and live on. And some people call that the consciousness, right? That this is it. This is what we're tapping into from a level of frequency. And it does. It feels like that. It sounds like that. You're meeting that unchangeable essence of you, and that's very powerful. to be able to touch that within you and to know that this is who you are, no matter what,
Right.
right? No matter what happens up here on the surface,
Right.
that you exist. You exist as this perfect essence of source energy, right? A source frequency. That this is home, and you've tapped into home.
Oh, it's so home. It's so peaceful. It's like whatever could happen right now, there's nothing could affect me.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Ain't that the truth?
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Oh, simple truths.
Oh, oh God. It's interesting. It's like, okay, so it's like I always think, okay, joy is the deal, but joy just comes out of this peace and stillness too. And that seems instead of just going to joy, I don't know. It's all avenues are good, however you go,
Sure.
but it's like, hmm, yeah. This is, I mean, I think this is the most important part of sound to bring people into their core essence, because that core essence of your soul is connected to all wisdom, all source. So it's not separate at all. And it's connected to all of your past life information, all the wisdom you've gotten from that.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yeah. It's so small yet so vast, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
everything. It's everything
Right.
that you are as an individual spark of God. And we are all of that. And this is where it will completely cook your noodle if
Right.
you
Right.
if you
Right.
try to think
Right.
about it,
Yeah,
right?
my head just exploded.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And
That's
that's
true.
why I recommend that we don't think about it. I recommend that we actually experience it for
Uh-huh.
ourselves, and that's the work we're here to do. That's the healing. That's the healing that is required. And it is a requirement. I can't stress this enough.
There's got to be a portal though, because sometimes people stop thinking and they just exist in a null or anxiety, right? So sometimes the brain can be used to lead you to that fade of a crystal bowl, or to the to that still point, to lead you down to that still point. It's like, okay, I'm going to use my mind to bring myself into this still point where it all opens up, right?
Yeah,
Because
indeed.
sometimes people just stop thinking and they're like, all right, they're not,
Sure.
they don't go to stillness.
Right, right. It's like you said, there are many paths to
Yeah,
the one,
right,
right? And
right.
every frequency, joy frequency, is just another aspect of the one that you are, and the one that we all are. And so it's like this too, where there are many pathways to God. There are many pathways to realizing the one within. And I use the mind absolutely. I mean, I couldn't help, being skeptical and being a critical thinker. I was taught these things are really important, and I still value these things. Okay, so when I started my wake up journey, when it started for me, okay, in 2012, I went through the mind. That was my
Mm-hmm.
initiation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a point where I was doing so much work psychologically and accessing the subconscious, and just focusing really on what is my ego, what does it sound like, right? What does it feel like, how can I discern between my ego and my heart, and so on and so forth. That was mind work, and it's very, very powerful, absolutely, to
Mm-hmm.
do this. And that's part of the healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We heal across all the bodies, right? The mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, the spiritual body. These are all the bodies that makes up the human being and the human experience. So we must attend to all levels of our experience. And the very first one for me was the mind. I mean, I needed to go through the gateway of the mind because I was so freaking smart.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
I couldn't just stop it. I had so many questions. So yeah, even the very inquisitive mind can be an amazing ally to finding our way within.
I think you're so right, though. I mean, it's like, okay, on one level, I think, okay, my path or my method with my mind is to delegate it to service. How can we help the planet the most, right? That's what this mind's for. Right? Figure out cool things for hospitals, for kids, for whatever, right? To help, right? But I think you're so right. Until people really drop down in the heart, I would say on average, people are like 95%, it's hard to say, 90% in the mind versus in the heart. Of course, there's some people that are totally heart-centered, but on average, I mean, on the planet, you could probably it'd be a different percentage per country, right? But it's like a huge percentage in the head without actually dropping down in the heart and slowing down and not just leaving the mind behind, but just seeing it from that perspective, from that frequency, from that stillness, from that slow tempo. It's interesting also just because I actually I'm going to be presenting for Lynn McTaggart's conference, right? And I'm presenting on the heart. They want me to do a presentation on the heart. And it's interesting, the heart is a pretty, it's like bump, 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 and it can get faster or slower. But it's actually, when you drop into the heart, it's way slower than that rhythm. It's so slow, it feels like complete peace and stillness. And that's a really good key, it just occurred to me, is for people to slow down the rhythm. And you start seeing the rhythm of the moon or the rhythm of the planets or really long rhythms, like even
Right,
the precession of the equinoxes, right?
right.
It's like 26,000 years, right? Then you slow down. It's okay. Okay, here's the question. How slow is the heart?
That's a great question for
It
God.
just made me think, is it like the 200 million years that it takes the sun to go around the Milky Way?
I love that you're talking about the rhythms because yeah, this is one of the master keys, and getting to know our rhythms and getting to know the rhythms on our planet, and being in sync with that. People
Mm-hmm.
are always asking me, how do you get in flow? How do things just show up for you, Jamie? I mean, you're just like manifesting powerhouse. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just in rhythm. I'm in sync with life. I sit and I listen. I take time for her. I take
Mm-hmm.
time for nature, and I slow down my life intentionally because I've learned a lot through suffering, and I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
done with that paradigm of suffering. I'm here to live now, right? I want to live 100%. And so what life tells me, it tells me to get into its rhythm, right? If you want to live, if you want to experience life from your heart and feel the bliss within and the peace within and just the endless safety and security that only one's heart really can provide. One's home, I should say, right? We just tapped into it. Then you can. But it requires us to slow down and get in touch with the right
Mm-hmm.
rhythms, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like the thing with the Western mind and why it is important to work through it because we're taking our mind with us. You see, it's not like we're leaving the mind behind. We're not rejecting the mind. We're really
Mm-hmm.
in training the mind to become in sync with thy heart.
Right.
Right. So it
Right.
can again, it's an instrument. It's a tool. It's an important instrument for this grand symphony that's waiting,
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
to
Right.
sing. And so what is highly beneficial is for us to slow down, as you said, and become in sync with natural rhythms, right? Not man-made rhythms.
Right, right,
We've,
right,
like I said, we've done it. We've mastered that world. We've mastered the world of limitation. We've mastered what it is to make realities from here, from this one instrument. It's
right.
now time to master the symphony.
So we were talking about last week the technique of breathing a frequency, and you were saying that you actually it had even sent a frequency with your mind to your acupuncture points to heal your kidneys, right? Right? And I've gotten really interested in that because I mean, both Alice Bailey and the Hathors in Tom Kenyon's book actually talk about doing sound in your head as opposed to out loud, and how empowering that is to be able to get control of your thoughts, right?
Indeed. It's to help focus. That's really what this is about. It's to become very masterful at focusing, because where our focus goes, energy flows. This is just one thing we must adapt and learn as we go through our awakening process. So I love that. I love what Tom Kenyon says about in to ourselves in quiet to produce, right? Sing the frequency within and see what happens. Experience what happens in the body, because it does have a very strong effect on our physiology. And like David was bringing up, I'll just share this with everyone so they know what we're talking about. I was guided at one point to bring through a healing frequency right into my kidneys, because it's my kidneys that tend to be the weakest in my body and in my experience. So I was finding myself with pretty unhappy kidneys one day, and immediately I got the download, and I was shown that if I just can focus and like putting my hands right here on the kidneys, and I go within and I drop into the theta brainwave, that means you're very relaxed, right? And I just focus. I focus intently on the frequency that my kidneys need in order to be happier and healthier. Then I would receive it. And that's exactly what happened. So I did. And I received that frequency, and it moved out of my vocal cord. So I actually sang it out loud, and it was just this one short, very simple tone, you know. And that tone went straight into the acupuncture points of the kidneys. So I felt it literally land in my kidneys, and whoop, it's like the energy just went up.
Cool.
And I was like, I'm good. Time to move on with my life, you know? Yeah.
One day, everybody will, there won't be hospitals. People will go, oh, you feeling bad?
I,
Right?
I see
Seriously.
this. Yeah, I see this as our future. Everyone will be able to heal themselves and know how to heal each other,
Right.
right? Because we are capable of that, and that's one of our dormant abilities, if you will, a dormant gift that awaits us when we do dare go on this spiritual spiritual growth process, that which is the awakening. You know, that God wants to remind us of how powerful we are. You
Boy,
know,
what a strong belief system on this planet that we can't. It
right?
is so strong, you
Exactly,
know. Ah,
exactly, and that is why it's important. It's really important to take our healing process seriously. It's also really important to work through the four bodies, what I talked about: the mental body, emotional body, the physical, and the spiritual, because it's all really, the Taoists believe it's all mind, and I oftentimes encounter that level of understanding a lot in my sessions. So what I'm often doing in a healing session with a client is where we're often, because we can't get right to the soul just yet, that could take many rounds, where what we do first is we work with our subconscious limiting beliefs, right? All those beliefs that are
mm,
beholden
mm,
to the limitation construct that we've been taught. over and over and over again, right? It's in our history, and it lives on in our DNA. And we can do something about that. And in fact, the crystal bowls, sound healing as a modality is excellent, excellent for helping people clear, release these limiting beliefs, as well as download, meaning put in the frequency of wisdom and love that which will help them ascend. It's amazing. It's a two for one, I like to say, you know. Yeah, it's important to clear these things out, but also to put it in, because when you're
Right.
clearing, like you're pulling
Right.
weeds from your garden, right? All of a sudden you have fresh ground. So what are you going to plant, right? What energy are you going to put in? So that's what we do in these sessions. We're taking out the limiting belief and we're putting in the frequency that you need, and it's a frequency that comes from God. And this is the most supportive thing I have seen for other people. I've seen this change lives. I've seen this heal disease. I've seen this catalyze so much growth from within. It's really cool.
Nice. Wow. Well, we could just hang out all day here. We
I
could just
know.
order takeout and just hang.
So much fun.
Oh my God. So do you have like a little offering, a package that you're like a special offer?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, just for this the sound healing conference, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so for anyone who's interested in working with me, I'm not offering a course. I'm offering one-on-one readings right now at a really special price. So, yeah, you can get on that. And what the readings look like, it's a chance for us to connect and see where you are in your ascension process, okay, in your healing process, and what your frequency is. So I'm able to tap into the person's frequency, and we're able to see, like, okay, what is really inhibiting you, right? What's standing in the way of fulfilling your greatest dream here on Earth, right? What is it? And you'll be surprised, right, at what we find, because you can't like diagnose yourself, right?
Right.
You
Right.
can't just sit there and think, oh, I'm fine, I don't need to heal anything. That's the ego, and that's most people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really helpful to have someone there who can support you and who also has abilities to kind of tap in, right? Go beyond the surface and check out what's happening energetically, like deep down, and read what is truly going on, and what is the cause of these inhibitors in our lives. And then we get to clear them. Like I said, it's really, it all comes down to a limiting belief. And if we could just pull out that limiting belief and the emotional, there's usually like a stuck emotion that's wrapped around it, like anger, sadness, guilt, shame. These things are what keeps us trapped. They keep us on lockdown, and they don't allow our frequency to really rise. And so that's why people can feel stuck. So what we're doing is we're wanting to scan the individual, learn what's inhibiting them, get to the root cause of that inhibition, and liberate it, and then bring through the frequency that they need.
And what's so cool about it is you don't just do it by talking, you actually do it with sound. Yeah, right? And just, I mean, oh my God. Yeah. It's even, I've seen you even do it when you teach here. It's like I've seen you do it with students where you really liberate their beliefs that they're not good enough to be sound healers, right? It's really beautiful.
Yeah, so important. And I've gone through that personally, and this is why I'm so grateful to the support, and to those who are in a mentorship position, because without that support, I would not be in this position now where I'm able to help others accelerate their process, because we don't need to suffer more than we have to, okay, in order to learn, right?
Right.
Just
Right.
learn what we need to learn and move on, right? Move forward and upwards with our life. That's really
You
the
mean
goal here.
you don't have to suffer to sing the blues? Cool. thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Blessed One.
Oh my gosh, absolutely my honor. I love you, David. And I
Me too.
absolutely love the sound healing community and all those who are participating in this. And I really hope, this touches you in some way. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for having me.
And thank you for finding my soul. Oh my God.
That was fun.
That was profound. I'm going to play it back every night now.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to play the closing video now.
Okay,
Take care.
thank you.
Mm. Here we go. Bye, all.